Let's go. Ah, okay. There we go. Thank you. And a much love. Good evening. Here we are. Get everything locked in here. And make sure the audio is good. As I was saying, you guys didn't hear me. I want to thank everyone that shares the stream out there. Daily Survival, Tacos, Tooge, Hoodie. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Sute. Much love. Thank you, Kev Bar. Thank you for the feedback, everybody out there. All right, so everything's better. Yeah, right at the gate. Hopefully, the rest of the stream is smooth. That's why I try to get it hashed out right at the gate. S-Bird, thank you. everybody out there that shares the stream, I appreciate it to the fullest. Now we're rocking. Okay, good. Sabali. Sabali means patience. For now. Get this thing going. Starting off the shot there of the Aurora. And of course, we've got a little bit more time on our hands here as the time has sprung forward finally. Moved out of that dark part of the year. This is an event that's like heavily debated. A lot of people going back and forth on whether they want the time to switch or not. I personally get sick of like the switch up. And I don't know. It's a debatable thing. But one way or another, they're talking about making this concrete to where you don't have to switch back and forth no more. I think, is it Arizona doesn't participate? Something like that, but I don't know. Everybody's got a different opinion on it. I've noticed. Depends on how it affects you, I guess. But I'm going to update here. If you follow me on X, you might see some of the stuff that I kick out. If you don't, make sure to follow me on X, because breaking stuff that you're not going to see on YouTube or anywhere else is getting shared over there. We've had a lot of plane crashes. Another one, a plane crashes in Manheim, Pennsylvania, in a residential area. 5 people on board, multiple injuries reported. I got a little clip here. Another terrifying scene. This town, a small township, has about 5,000 people in it. They haven't said why it came down. They say that it just went down quickly. This was a Beech A-36 TC aircraft. Went down quickly after takeoff around 3 p.m. And they didn't say, they said a lot of injuries, but they didn't say anything about any fatalities. You can see right there in the lot. But man, it was definitely on fire, and it's another aircraft. I mean, and you can see the shot from there. All I see is numerous injuries. It says right here, it says that, all right, moments before the crash, the pilot can be heard telling the Lancaster Airport Control Tower that his plane has an open door and they need to return for landing. And it also says that air traffic control told the pilot to pull up right before impact. They must have seen him coming in hard or something there. So that's all the details we have on this right now, but I haven't seen anything else on that. If you guys get any word on that, let me know. Vicky says no flying for me anymore. Yeah, it's getting pretty bad, man. Whether it's engines on fire, doors opening, falling off, sucking people out, the windows doing the same. Hard landings, snapping in half. It's pretty crazy. Now, I'm going to cover a lot of different stuff here tonight, as I always do. But man, we got some rather crazy stories to report on here tonight. Okay? Just going to put it to you like that. I can only fit so much in the title. In a rest in peace here to an InfoWars reporter, Jamie White, who shockingly was like beaten and beaten to death, like just flat out murdered in Austin late last night. we don't know much of anything surrounding the details. Like I was looking, trying to find a little something else. Again, if you guys got anything on this that's breaking, let me know at Dabu77 in the chat, or email me, dabu7 at yahoo.com. I get the email, I check it throughout the stream best I can, and put it in the title what it is. But they're reporting that he was out covering something right there in the local area. So InfoWars is based right there in Austin, and this is just crazy. Like, love or hate Alex Jones. Let me just say this: love or hate Alex Jones. Set that aside. I've met a lot of people that's come and went through InfoWars throughout the years. Met a lot, man. I remember back when Jakari was with him. I've met Rob Dew in the streets. He's actually done interviews on me and put them on InfoWars, something I never thought would happen. He did it. I got to know Joe Biggs. Just running the streets over all the years, covering all these events. You get to know these guys. You get to see them. I know the kind of atmosphere that these people go into. What sucks about this is like we have a big lack of detail as to exactly what unfolded here. So we're just kind of left to report at this moment. Yeah, Jason Burmis was a part of it. Some of them guys, the crowd that I didn't get along with, the whole Tim Pool thing, all those guys, that whole camp. I've met them in the streets. I've said, hey, how you doing? Went to shake hands and got snubbed. That's just how it is. You want to know the truth? I've met like all these characters. Yeah, Tim never would like shake my hand or do anything. He was always like would look the other way or something on some snub stuff. But Luke Rudowski was always cool to me, and then Luke would always run the streets with me, or we would run them together and cover things. But Luke's kind of morphed into the club, it seems, at this point over there with Tim. And I know Tim was in that circle, people getting paid millions. Last I checked, the real truthers out here wouldn't get cut no checks, like nothing like that. They get no support. At a time when real truthers are getting dismantled and getting censored, and some guys over here are getting promoted on all these platforms and streams and getting paid millions of dollars, something ain't right. You gotta pay attention to that. And that's part of the problem that I had with InfoWars over the years, straight up, is we knew that there was Stratford connections and money backing on Alex Jones right at the gate. And these things they would try to hide, and they would try to ignore, and they were based right around the corner from InfoWars right there in Texas. And these things were openly known, but they didn't want to talk about it. And we would catch them staging stuff, like staging events, like staging just things to get views and stuff like that. And I don't know. We always looked at him as a big gatekeeper. But that aside, like I said, a lot of people, they came and went through there. There were some good people. I didn't know Jamie here. I can suspect that he was out there just trying to get the scoop and do what we do in reporting. Again, lack of any information here, but a rest in peace. Someone had lost their life out there in the street here in America. Shockingly, here, just right there in their base camp town of Austin. So, you may recall before Joe Biggs got out, I spoke on him several times. I let everybody know, look, Joe Biggs is in prison. He's facing like 20 years. He's going to rot in there. Let's hope that he gets a pardon and he's free now. Joe Biggs is a free man. Love him or hate him, whatever. Opinions, trust them. These people are not. I don't want to see no one like rot like that in jail. And I don't want to see people like murdered like this. Come on now. This is crazy. I'll update on the next stream. I've got some earthquake activity to report out of Southern California. Some of you may have felt this. They're saying that there was a preliminary 4.5 magnitude that struck in Southern Cali on Sunday. This hit in the afternoon, 6.8 miles southwest of Westlake Village in the Los Angeles area. So that was about 1:03 p.m. local time. There was 4 aftershocks that hit with this. And people were taking to social media talking about it, saying, 4, you're going to feel it. It's on the smaller side. The softer side, we'll say, a 5. Once you cross 5, you can start to say, okay, decent little quake. Cross 6, you're getting up in the bigger quake territory. 6, 7s, 8s, obviously. 8s, 9s, mega quakes. Los Angeles is overdue. That's why I like to mention it. New Madrid fault is overdue. Don't forget that. It sure is. So. And let me give a shout out here to Parker. Thank you for the coffee. Turn it down. Much love right back to you. I appreciate the support. I don't cover a whole lot of weather. When I do, I talk about it for what I see it as. It's being used as a weapon. And we've got another round coming. I know that these systems affect people differently, different areas, but the wind system that just came through, and now this one, another one coming through. If you live in the northern part of the U.S., I guess you're about to get some more snow. In the south, especially Texas, as you can see here, Texas, New Mexico, they're talking about a powerful storm. This is going to go into Wednesday here. This is going to cross into Arkansas. They're talking about tornado potential being spun up in all these areas. So, it begins. And I also watched a clip on the Weather Channel where they talked about nighttime tornadoes and that there's an increased risk for nighttime tornadoes right now, this month, in this window, right when they start to kick off. And they can catch people by surprise. So, nighttime tornadoes, not fun. Very scary. But they're saying that the storm system can come through and pack gusts of wind from 65 to 75 mile an hour. Some of the gusts, it says a local storm max gusts, it say up to 100. And thank you, NC Girl, there for the coffees. This is RIP. Much love. Thank you. So just a heads up, man. Going into this weekend, got another round of what I call weather weaponry. Now, we also have a disaster unfolding. This is involving a container ship that collided with a tanker off the coast of East Yorkshire in the North Sea. This is off England's coast. And this isn't good. Anytime you've got something like this going on, they could be leaking. It says it's anchored. Well, you can see right here. I'm gonna play this clip. You can see it's smoking. It's definitely leaking. It's on fire. It's billowing. It may sink, and they're talking like this could cause a big disaster, for the areas. Anytime you got a big oil tanker that, oh yeah, look at that. As you can see, the water's on fire right there. So chemicals in the water for sure. And they've got a disaster on their hands right there. So, just a heads up on that. Let's dive into the financials here real quick. An update on Bitcoin. Okay. U.S. regulators rescind these blocks that Biden put up. And if you can't tell, the Trump administration going full blown here with crypto. They pulled a head fake. They gave the crowd an executive order against CBDCs, and with the other hand, they introduced the Trump coin and blockchain and announced that they want to be the leader in AI, in crypto. So you're going to see huge pushes in this sector. You can't be the leader and you can't go down this avenue and try to do this without a lot of hype and a lot of frenzy around it. Now, here in the past couple of days, we're going to dive into the markets here. Everything's been dumping out, like, tremendously. And I told you that there could be blowback. I've said it a million times about these tariffs. You're going to start to see money being pulled from all over the place. And what I consider this to be is a pullback, okay? If you know anything about markets, you need to watch charts or anything like that, you need a healthy pullback. I mean, our overall economy should have had healthy pullbacks, this whole time, but it really hasn't. Within the Biden administration, up until now, it's super inflated. If it comes down, it's likely to come down crashing hard. Just our overall economy. And today, we took one hell of a hit. We took a massive hit. $1.7 trillion was wiped from the markets in one blow today. Now, you're going to tell me that these big dogs didn't know about this? Oh, yeah, they did. Jamie Dimon just cashed out a huge stack of chips. Remember, 33%. There's your sign, okay? Warren Buffett sitting on the sideline, record amount of cash. There's your sign, okay? These guys knew that this was coming, and they positioned for it. 1.7 trillion knocked out. Total market. And you even seen things like Bitcoin get wiped out hard. I mean, Bitcoin hit a top at like close to 110. It's trading in like the upper 70,000s. I'm gonna say floor. There's a floor level around 72, if it goes that low. But it's kind of in a no man's land right now. When you drop out from that 80s down to the 70s, with Bitcoin, there's not a whole lot of support there till you get down to the 72 range, unless it finds a footing somewhere right now. I look at all kinds of charts and study charts of everything, from gold, silver, Bitcoin, just to see where it's at. In the overall Big 10, the biggest corporations out there, they're overinflated, they're heavily inflated, and they've got a lot of, how can I put this, like the insider stuff. What happens here is, like with Tesla and all those big ones that everyone wants to buy and get into, Microsoft, Bill Gates and Elon and them, they hold millions and millions and millions and millions of shares of that stock. So, when they want to cash out, it's going to create a wave. It's going to tank it. And they're going to do it at some point. Sometimes they do it in increments, quietly. But there's reporting levels. You've got to report this stuff out there in the open unless you go below certain thresholds, like what Warren Buffett was doing. But I see, like, we're about to walk into, like, some huge event. Like, we're like a day away, an event away from this going down, man. The U.S. needs a big event. Trump is getting called out, like, are we entering a recession? I'm going to play a clip here in just a second on that. But we're seeing blowback from these tariffs. That's what I was saying, man. This could backfire and go the other way on Trump. Because, first off, let's go back to the magic trick here of the word tariffs. He seems to be able to say this, or even the mainstream media, whoever, they can say the word tariffs. And a large portion of the crowd still just doesn't get it. They think that Mexico is paying for it and that Canada is paying for it when they hear all this stuff. They're not realizing that they're paying for it. Trump has even said, bear with me, it's about to get rough. Because he knows it's about to get rough on the consumer. And most of them got their head in the sand. They don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. Maybe they're starting to. Well, now everybody's starting to pop off tariffs. And for the United States, the bait was like, if you bring your company here, that's what Trump's trying to do. You bring your company here, you don't have to pay nothing. Okay? So if you base your company in the U.S., then there is no tariff to have to pay. So you're trying to force all these people to have to bring their companies here, and it's working. They were making cars, Toyota or something, they were going to make down Mexico. They're now going to make in Indiana. And that's just an example of what Trump's trying to do. And it's a good thing business-wise. I'll say that. Because that's what Trump's his biggest thing was. He's a businessman, business savvy. Not political in the sense, but business savvy. He likes to do the deal. He's all about the deals. And he even says it here recently. He's been brought in to do these deals. And that sets him up to be their man of peace. Remember, their Gentile Messiah. We ain't making this up. This is the real deal. Anyhow, China hits Canada now with tariffs. So everyone's starting to throw tariffs all over the place. And it depends on what your tariff stipulates. Every tariff can be different. Okay? Every tariff can be different. But they're very clear about what our tariffs are and who's paying for them. Canola futures drop because China slaps a 100% tariff on Canadian rapeseed. Okay, we were talking little 10, little 20s, 25% tariffs here. They just come back just backhanding Trump's tariffs with like, oh yeah, like you want to do 25, we'll do 100. Trying to do like a checkmate move on him. Like, oh yeah, like what are you going to return with? 200? This thing can escalate out of hand here at any moment, and we're going to be the ones to suffer, I'm telling you. You're not going to be able to get products. You're going to have to pay out the nose. And for a people that's already been beat down by Bidenflation and walking into what they're now calling a recession, Trump's he's going to blame everything he can on Biden. And if the quicker they do this, the quicker this all happens on his watch, if you think about it, he can blame Biden still. He can be like, look, we've only been here 3 weeks, 4 weeks, blah, 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 which is true. But the more time goes by, a year goes by, 2 years, then that fades away. So he can't keep blaming Biden forever like that. Until finally they're going to say, you're going to have to take some responsibility here. If it happens right now, sooner on his watch, it's better that he can blame it on Biden for them. And it's true, we haven't seen nothing yet. Today, I think, was like one of the first big shock waves of a lot to come here. 1.7 trillion getting ripped out of the market. You know what that means? The big dogs selling off the top. They're taking profit. That means a lot of people's 401ks are hit bad. Jackhammered. Bad. I've already done been hearing it. What do you expect? Where do you think the money's going to come from? I warned about this. This is like just the beginning of these waves. And you're not seeing these guys diving back into major stocks making huge purchases. They're still sitting there in cash, which is indicative of more pain to come. You know, they're either shorting this on the way down or they're sitting on the sideline waiting to buy the dip. In the way that they're all sitting in the sideline right now in cash, dude, there's never been a time like this. There's never, ever, ever been a time like this that I've reported on this many big dogs selling their tops and sitting on the sideline in cash, just sitting over there like, like twiddling their thumbs like nothing's happening. Like, hold on a second. Like, something huge is about to happen. Huge. To me, it equates to the market coming down. It's all right in front of you. It's happening. Again, first wave today, 1.7 trillion. They could just take chunks out every day or every week at this point. Just start chunking away at it. It could be like boiling the frog. Most people are just like, oh, no, what's going on? No. Long as their boob tube doesn't tell them or say anything or bring any attention to it, they'll just sit there and their 401k will get hammered, it dwindle away. Every day that this happens, 1.7 is a huge chunk of money to get ripped out of the market. You're talking, trillions is the normal thing now to be speaking of. We've done surpassed billions. We're going to be going to like quintillions and all that stuff next. It's crazy. But I believe that we're about to witness a reset. We're like in the mix here of what's about to be a reset. I would prepare fully. I think we're getting like super, super warm, so to speak, in terms of like we're getting warmer, we're almost there. Like, I think it's hot. I think you're really feeling the heat now. I think we're like that close. Again, this benefits the Trump administration to do this event sooner than later. The establishment, all of it. It benefits them to pull off this event because this pushes everything into a digital world on blockchain. That's what they're about to do. And all they're going to simply do is hold your money hostage. You hear me? Do you hear me? They're going to hold your money hostage. You're just not going to be able to get it out. And they can blame Ukrainian hackers, Chinese hackers. They could say it's a glitch. It's all they got to do. It's all they got to do. And they'll tell everybody, download a wallet, simple. It really, for being such a big event, they're going to like downplay it because they're going to have such a quick response, an easy response. Oh, you can't get your money out. Everyone's panicking. Well, we've got an emergency response for this just in case. All right. We've made sure that every single, and this is true, listen to me, every single bank out there has been ordered by the FDIC, and this has been this way, to have a digital wallet on file for every single account that's out there, every major bank. So what this means is through that digital wallet, they can, even if your funds are held up through that system, they can issue money, USDT, US whatever. And that will be accepted at every single store. It will be the digital dollar, basically. You call it whatever you want, but it's the blockchain. And it's not the same digital as, oh, we're already digital. No, it's not that kind of digital. This is blockchain digital. And it's like a ball and chain. It tracks and traces everything. It locks and stores all the information. And there's no privacy. There's no turning back once you're on it. And it's like a double-edged sword. It's all about who controls it. If bad people control the technology, they can do bad things. They can strip your freedom and your privacy. And they're going to try to do just that. That's the whole point of it for them. Good people, you could use it for a lot of good things. Out there storing information, logging it, where it can't be manipulated and all this stuff. But the bad guys want it for control. They want it for control and to finally be able to see your every move. Because they can tax your every move then. Or they can do whatever. You get out of control like in China. China's a perfect example. They can push of a button. You get out of hand, they deduct money from your account. Oh, you're a bad boy today. Minus $1,000. Oh, you left your bike sitting outside and didn't park it. Minus $50. Like, if you get dinged hard enough, you can't even leave. You're like a prisoner inside the city or inside the town, or whatever. You can't even leave. Even if it's for a funeral or whatever else. That's what Google went over to China and helped, study for years, was that whole system. To see how it could be incorporated here in America. That's why they did it. So, Trump is being asked Are we going into a recession? And I'm just going to play a clip. I'm going to let him kind of speak on it himself. Someone, thank you for the coffees. I appreciate you. Right back at you. Play this Scott Bessent here real quick.
10% of Americans are 40 or 50% of consumption, and that is an unstable equilibrium. The bottom 50% of working Americans have gotten killed. We are trying to address that. We're trying to get rates down, and could we be seeing that this economy that we inherited starting to roll a bit? Sure. And look, there's going to be a natural adjustment as we move away from public spending to private spending. The market and the economy have just become hooked. We've become addicted to this government spending, and there's going to be a detox period.
Did you hear what he said about inheriting it? So he just dropped small little subliminals there as well. Here's Trump just flat out talking about it. Thank you, Lakeville.
And I want to ask you about Ukraine and the blow up the other day with Zelensky. Let me stay on the economy for a moment, because there are rising worries about a slowdown. You've got the Atlanta Federal Reserve saying we're going to have a contraction in the first quarter. Look, I know that you inherited a mess, and you said that the other night.
I've only been here,
but are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition, because what we're doing is very big. We're bringing wealth back to America. That's a big thing. And there are always periods of, it takes a little time. It takes a little time. But I think it should be great for us. I mean, I think it should be great. It's going to be great ultimately for the farmer. Don't forget,
And it's about a reset. It's about resetting everything. He didn't say it here, but he's on film saying that, about resetting and restructuring everything. This is, we know DOGE is out there running wild. They're saying that all this money's been found. Here today, DOGE is saying $312 million that was given to kids during the pandemic has now been called out. Now, there's billions that's on the table here that they're saying that they're finding. Uncommon, much love. Oh, I made you a mod. I'm not sure what else of a tag you got on there, or how it got there. I didn't do anything else. But much love. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of spare time to do something like that. I don't know what that little thing is there, Uncommon. I don't know. I forget. Maybe it's. I don't know. Anyhow, much love. My point here, though, with this whole DOGE thing is, no one's going to jail. It's pretty simple. Every single time I report on this, they tell you that more money's been found. Now, tonight, I'm telling you $312 million was given to kids during the pandemic, and that's garbage, because kids don't have bank accounts. And these loans were sent to bank accounts, okay? Somebody should be going to jail. Not a mention of a single person going to jail in this, that they're going after them. So, $312 million in loans going to all these kids that are 11 or younger. This is crazy, man. There has to be legitimate names in all this, there has to be stuff connected with these bank accounts these are easy questions and any investigator is going to be asking. And we ask them every single time they come out and look, we found this, we found that. And it's okay, who's your prime suspect? That's not part of the equation. That's not how they're operating. That's rather scary. This is, again, black magic at its finest. They're out here trying to act like they're, it's a huge cover-up right in front of your face, disguised as transparency. It's what it is. They're sitting there telling you all the stuff. I mean, are they even going to go back and do what they said they were going to do with Fort Knox at this point? And show you, live stream what's in there, or no? No. Funny, ever since then, there's been huge volumes of upticks of shipments into this country of gold. Who knows what kind of fabrication they're going to pull here. I wouldn't be surprised. Trump's words were, I don't know if there's any gold. I'd be surprised if there was no gold in there. He goes, I'd be happy if there's 27 tons. It's like, why would you be, how could you be happy? Like, what? Like, how can you make those comments, man? But they make comments for reasons. Okay? Anyhow, I'm asking the question here again tonight. Elon Musk, dear Mr. President, who's going to jail for all this stuff? Because, you know, I see a long list of criminals, and we could go on and on and on. And like, in this instance, there's a lot of people tied into this. You know how many bank accounts could be tied into this? Just think about this. Think about the 312 million. All right, individuals. This scam is huge. Like, I want to start seeing some names. I want to start seeing some people, because it all goes, it files back to leadership. Some people at the top were given the okay for all this. There's no way that, you know, you see what I'm saying? This tracks back somewhere, man. You cannot let them get off the hook with this. So every day they're coming out telling you millions and billions were missing or something like this, and we get no criminals. We need a criminal list is what we need. And somebody needs to call them out about this. It needs to be brought to the forefront on this, if you ask me. It's the only way we're going to get answers. So, keep it pushing. We have Elon Musk confirming that X was hit by a massive cyber attack. So this took down X for a good chunk of the morning. I know on the East Coast, by the afternoon, it seemed like everything was getting back to normal, depending on where you were at. So, Elon was getting interviewed today, I guess, as he was getting interviewed, they asked him, what was going on? And he was like, well, it looks like we got hit. Denial of service attack event that went down. And here, I think I got a clip of it right here. He says it originated in a very curious spot. Ukraine. Ukraine, of all places. So, this is kind of like a Zelensky and them flipping the bird to these guys. Like, you want to mess with us? So, here we go.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced. Yes. It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area. And they were probably using, because he's got the whole place set up on Starlink, and they're all using, it's his service. He can track every bit of it back. Man, they better think about that. They better think about that. They think that they're going to be doing anything slick. They know probably exactly everything. Matter of fact, there's already a group that's claiming this. This shadow group, as they call it. But it's got a Ukrainian link. Will we see more? What's Ukraine going to do? Ukraine going to have a hissy fit? Zelensky going to get pissy because his money's getting cut off? And what are they going to do? They're going to cyber attack the U.S.? I mean, if he's going to attack X flat out, his groups, yeah, man, that's, I thought that there was another one here that says something about, okay. So X takes down a network of Chinese accounts that were amplifying New York Times attacks on dissidents art groups. So there's two main groups always at play here. They're basically on this side trying to point the finger at the CCP in China again, saying that they're in there doing all these attacks. So let me back this up. We've got a streamer coming out, dropping some warnings, and I think that we should probably listen to what they're saying here. This Asmund Gold saying that all these threats that are coming from Reddit seem to be manufactured in nature. Now, I'm not on Reddit. I've been on Reddit. But I'm like not on there like ever. So I really don't know a whole lot of the ins and outs about it. I've linked to it a couple times. We've had some stories of linked back there that have checked out. But it's one of them forums that always seem to be a place that like seemed like really fetish to me. Like this could be reeking of feds all over the place. Just to feel that I had. So now, the same place that I had those vibes on, he's saying that these threats, these manufactured threats against Trump, all this violence is going to lead to a real ID to have to be used to access Reddit. So these people that are dropping threats can be weeded out, or they'll know who they are. And it's going to strip away anonymity, privacy. It's going to be gone out the window. I think you should pay attention because this is real deal. It's stuff like this you got to watch for. If they can seize the moment for something like this, they would do it. And it fits the bill. So, can you imagine you're not going to be able to get online, go on, check nothing, do anything without having the real ID now. An ID connected into the beast system. It's already here. But there's going to be a series of events, I believe, in the future. I believe they're going to drop another pandemic-style thing. It's going to be a real deal. It's going to be lethal. It's going to wipe people out. And when they do it, they're going to clamp down. They're going to clamp down harder than ever. It's going to be hell on earth. You're going to wish you weren't living through it. And a lot of people are going to die in the mix of it. Either from starvation or from the disease itself or fighting against the beast. That is my prediction. Ultimately, I hate to say it, but that's where this country's going. It's where the world's going. They didn't just do a beta test for 5 years, for years for nothing. They don't do that. They don't do that for nothing. Plus, they've warned us. They've told us. Bill Gates and all them have told us. And he's down there dining with Trump. Trump should be arresting him, but no. They're down there talking about making money off more jabs. And, of course, you wouldn't bring that up. Trumpers will turn around and look the other way. But it's the real deal. It's a huge issue. And it's on the table. And I truly see Tom Homan and all these dudes that are rounding up illegals. When this happens, they're going to be used to round up everybody. Anybody that's a pure blood. May sound crazy to you, but it's not to me. It's what I see them setting this whole thing up for. The roundup. The roundup was going to be of us that fight back. That's the nightmare situation to me. Shutting down the banks and doing an economic reset and all that, they can do that soft, but not a lot of bodies dropped or like I said earlier, they could actually make it a smooth transition just because why not for them? It's a win-win. If it's smooth for them and more people accept it and just download the wallet and their money's there and they could spend it right now at the gas station, then problem solved. But it's the beginning of the end. As soon as that moment happens, it's over. The new system has begun. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand what you're about to live through? The end of a whole era. And once this transition begins, away goes the banks. Because he just stopped printing pennies. He ordered the minting to cease. Next is nickels because they're way too expensive to be printing. So they're going to do away with all the change and be gone. They've been taking it back for years anyway, ever since the scam. And then it's just going to be the fiat. And Trump was sent in to kill it. I put out an Economist magazine the other day. Okay? A video on it. If you missed it, you should probably check it out. And it's what they're about to do. Do you know what the day is? Do you know what today is? March 10th. That's right. Do you know what March 10th is? Today is the day that they rolled out the beginning of this new cross-border payment system that's going to go official globally. The FDIC. But what they've done is they switched it up. It's similar to Gates coming out saying that they were going to have the next pandemic in 2025. Well, here we are. He showed up in 2025 and says, oh, it's going to happen within the next 4 years. So we pushed it back a little bit. Well, this FDIC thing, they're sunsetting it to begin now, start to be rolled out now through July 14th of this summer. So they're going to roll it out throughout the next several months. And that's when it's going to go into full effect. Thank you, Kev Barr, my brother, for the support, man. I hope all is well, brother. Be good to see you again. Hope all is well. Anyhow, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Got a lot to cover here. Let's get an update from Dr. Peter McCullough linking the bird flu outbreak and what was I telling you? What's going on in China right now? What are they flipping out about? Because it's jumping around and they're covering stuff up and it's like the hysteria has begun. Like, you don't want to hear it and all this stuff, but it's happening. They told us here that the next one was going to be a variant of this. And H5 checks out to be the most deadliest to humans. So if they start throwing that around, you just remember that. Okay? The prominent. So Peter McCullough links this outbreak here to experiments in Georgia at these facilities. Here. Well, no, that's going to try to throw some Twitter stuff up. But this doesn't surprise me. It's eerily reminiscent. And now the United States is launching an investigation into what's going on with the price of eggs. I told you last time the Biden administration, they killed 150 million chickens, which is crazy. Most people was hearing the news that they were making people kill their chickens, but they weren't realizing the extremes of it. It was a massive extreme. Okay? Now, I want to remind you that probably in one of the biggest jump the gun moments I've ever seen, ever, California is under a state of emergency because of bird flu. It's been weeks now. They launched it because of the report of whatever happened in Louisiana. What? Why? What? Yeah. So, yeah, something's not right here. All this stuff with the bird flu going on, the stage is like set. Remember, crazy stuff popped off last time on Trump's watch. I'm telling you right now, man, okay? Okay? I report on a lot of stuff. A lot of crazy stuff. Right? Okay? We're in crazy times. Lots going on. But man, there's really only a couple things that could turn this place into like pure hell. To their advantage. And EMP could be on the table. I just don't see them. It's easier right now, man, to do some kind of glitch on the banks, to hit the markets. Look, if you took a hit today of 7% on your 401k and you just sat there and watched it, and tomorrow this happens again, and like you just took like 11% more, are you just going to sit there and watch it go down? Because a lot of people are about to do that. They're doing it. They're going to sit there and they're going to watch it because we've been in such a bull market. That's all they've known this whole time. This whole thing could come down. They're just going to sit there and watch it. Smart people are going to try to move their money. Really smart people wouldn't have their money in there right now. Tried to warn you. Billionaires are sitting on the sideline with all their money for a reason. I feel like a huge event's coming. All right, I'm going to keep it pushing out of the economics into an update on the fires. Carolinas were getting hit. Then we seen Myrtle Beach and all that was set to be a smart city, right? And it's like, what are the odds there? Again, these fires pop up in an area that's connected to a smart city. It's getting kind of obvious here. It's just like LA, Los Angeles, LA 28. Their whole plan to do the same thing, that whole corridor, they got burnt out to make it part of a new landscape and to rebuild it. Well, now you've got wildfires that have broke out suspiciously on Long Island. It sparks a state of emergency. I had some people email me, some of you out there that tune in, concerned about this. Several people actually giving different accounts of different stuff, but saying that there's multiple fires, huge fires, that all seem to spark up, and you can see them here on this GIF. You can see their plumes, two of them, two of the biggest ones right here, moving. You can see their plumes going into motion off Long Island. 4 different big fires that all kick up at the same time, and there's all this talk of arson involved here. This is Eastport, West Hamptons. You can see it from far away. I'm going to play a couple clips here just so you can see. These aren't no small fires, man. And that's another thing with the system, the storm system that's about to come through. High winds, dry conditions. They're like burning places out, man. Look at this. And when these fires get this big, there's literally like nothing anyone can do. If this is your property, I feel for you, man. I mean, look at that. The aerial shots. If this is your property or anything like it, these fires get to, they're just going to let them burn it out. I've experienced it. Forest services, the feds, unfortunately, train them to let some of these fires burn out. They'll show up to fight a fire and they have no water, and your jaw's going to drop. Your jaw's going to drop. You're going to be like, what is going on? And they just got shovels and other means, and they're going to try to dig out a fire line and things like that. And that's what they do. And they try to keep it contained to burn out in a circle until it burns out. And they create a perimeter, a fire line around it. But a lot of times with high winds, it jumps the fire line. And all that work that they've done is pointless. They've got to move down, try to get ahead of it again. And it's a battle, man. I fought wildfires myself personally on my own property because we thought we were going to lose everything, you know? And we, after fighting it and fighting it and fighting it, we got it like out, and we left it to Forest Services It was like 6 men in a truck, and there was one log still smoking up on this peak, and we were like, man, that's it. We looked up at it. We told him, like, that's it, man. Like, we've got, like, defeated it. It whooped us. It was one of the craziest things in my life. Surrounded by fire, running around, huge mountain. We leave, get a phone call that our mountain's on fire again. We flip out like, what are you talking about? Like, we had it out, and fire services were there. Well, they didn't care. I don't know what they did. If they just pulled off after we left or what, but they just let the thing kick up and continue to burn everything down. And they suck for that. So I feel people's pain when these fires come their way. There's not much that can be done unless you have your own setup to fight it. Okay, which is something you might want to consider. Anyhow, these fires, man, getting mighty suspect, and this is up in the billionaires' playground, as they call it. And still 4 wildfires. Suspicious. Arson could be at play. I'm going to shift into the political realm here. Trump not considering a pardon for Officer Derek Chauvin that was convicted of George Floyd's death. Now, I'm wondering why, but I really think it's just like the political thing, spectrum of it. This is one of them stories that he just doesn't want any kick up. He doesn't, like, if he's got like any part of the black community right now that's like, fell for the whole Trump thing, they're on board the Trump train, and they're down with it. Like, he don't want to piss anyone off at this point, I feel. So this is just one of them stories, like, it probably causes them more shade than good, is how they're saying it. Which isn't good for Chauvin, because what I've looked into this, George Floyd died of all the stuff that they had showed with what was in the system. And they politicized this whole event. And it's like known now. It's like known. It's like, if it's all known and you know that he's innocent then, to whatever degree, then, like, is there some kind of lighter sentence? People are saying, is there going to be a pardon? Trump's response was no. But when I looked into it, it was kind of like he acted kind of like lost on it. Like he didn't know he wasn't well versed on the whole Derek Chauvin thing. And he needs to get caught up to speed. I mean, he's probably got a million things going on for real on a daily basis. Being Trump, I can only imagine. But Chauvin, unfortunately, everyone else is catching the pardons. They're giving you a pass, man. Like passing on you. Like, sorry, pal. Like, I don't know if the base screams loud enough about this whole thing, they could save him, I think. But that's on the base. Chauvin's in the hands of MAGA. Oh, my. So, all this stuff's so politicized. So, talk about some crazy stuff. Elon Musk, he's the unelected little president there, leprechaun. He's just, I don't see Elon as being a good, righteous entity at all at this point. And I think a lot of other people out there see it. And, some people will go to extremes, and they're doing it. And right now, Teslas are being vandalized because people are fighting against Elon. Now, some of this does tie into Soros. He's got a point here, because one of the protesters admits that he's being paid by Soros. And we've seen that. I've been exposing that since the days of Ferguson. They're attacking these vehicles, man. If you've got a Tesla, I'd watch out at this point, because they're getting targeted. I seen one today or yesterday on the highway, and they're the ugliest things, I think. I'm sure that it might have some cool upgraded new features or something, but like, I don't know, man. Look at this dude. This dude's speeding on this Tesla. Just because it's a Tesla. Imagine you got this parked in the street, you're inside somewhere shopping. This dude comes down the road just putting dents in any Tesla. Oh. Oh my gosh. That dude, like, ducked down and looked under his vehicle after the dude did that. Like, the guy, I thought he was going to kick him in the head. That was a stupid move, but we got another one.
Police taped bullet holes and shattered glass. Crews spent the day cleaning up the Tesla dealership after investigators say someone shot it up overnight Thursday, causing tens of thousands of dollars in damage.
When employees showed up to work this morning, that's when they discovered the damage.
Tigard police say someone fired at least 7 shots, damaging 3 cars and shattering windows. Fortunately, it happened overnight when employees were gone.
I think the concerning thing for the employees is that it happened at all, and that one of those shots went into an office and into a computer monitor. Ultimately, we're just thankful that nobody was hurt.
The latest vandalism comes just one day after federal investigators say they arrested a man in Salem for similar crimes. He's accused of throwing Molotov cocktails and shooting at the Tesla dealership there. Like in that case, Tigard police are now working with the FBI and ATF to determine if the latest vandalism is politically motivated. Tesla's...
You see? And... look, man, these cats are like, they're firebombing. They're shooting up, doing drive-bys of Tesla joints. You kidding me? And look, people aren't being targeted, which is a good thing. They're doing this like after hours. And you can tell it's a direct attack against Elon. It's against his building and everything that's in it. That's what they're attacking here. They're making sure people are out of the way and everything else. They're attacking him and his product. Is what they're doing here, en masse. And it's been happening more and more. So now vehicles are getting picked off, and this is concerning because you just saw the confrontation right there. Dude just smacked the front of that car with a boot, and the guy got out and confronted him, but they didn't squabble. But let me tell you something. In any other given situation, they could have squabbled. Knives could have been pulled. Guns could have been pulled. Anything in any given moment. And the streets are nasty these days. I don't know if you've been out in them. Any of these major cities, stuff like this. Get somebody on drugs. That it just came out of a conversation around the corner. For 45 minutes, everyone's smoking meth. And the conversation was somebody saw scrolling. People attacking Teslas, and then someone was like, F Elon, he's got all that money in the world, and like this starts this conversation. They roll out from that conversation, and boom, there's a Tesla. What do you think they're gonna do? Somebody high as a kite's gonna try to attack it, like you just saw. Thank you, John Boy. I'm just saying, man, this is it's getting targeted. Elon tried to come out on Joe Rogan the other day, and he's like, yeah, me doing this because it's going to make me, all the stuff he's doing, it's going to make him a target to be assassinated by the establishment, by the most powerful people in the world. And I'm like, no, it's not. You're playing the game for them. You must be getting scared that the people are waking up. That's what it seems like to me. And they are. I'm going to argue that this isn't the answer in terms of putting innocent people's lives in danger, like what you just saw. But people are going to do what they do, and this is what they're doing. And I think we're going to be reporting on stuff like that more from here. Now look at this anti-Musk protester, he admits he gets paid through Soros NGOs. And this is what we caught years ago in Ferguson when Michael Moore got killed, shot and killed, and all the protests were in St. Louis and Ferguson, and all that stuff broke loose. Yeah, we found the same protesters. That was the birth. That was the beginning of BLM. That was the beginning of BLM. It was craziness. It was madness. Anyhow, I'm going to play this here so you can see here.
Yeah, I get paid to do that. get paid to be out here? Yeah. Amazing. So some pack.
Yeah, you really are getting paid for this?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, definitely. 100% I'm getting paid for this.
He's 100% getting paid for it. So they had a longer conversation there, and more information was gleaned from it. He admitted flat out, he's out there with the sign around him, of course, because he's getting paid to. He's making money. Most people wouldn't be out there doing it. This brings me to the next one. The whole Black Lives Matter street. They did this somewhere in DC. I never seen this myself. I think I've been down the street, but not since they put this up. Because I've been all over the streets of DC. Over the years, I've been to DC a lot of times. And I've just ran all these streets, just covering stuff. Running from cops, confrontations, like all types of stuff. Been back and forth and up and in and out of alleyways. And so I know if it's right there, it's at, let's see, process, including bright. All right, this is on 16th Street. Well, it's coming down. They're tearing it down. It's begun. So you'll no longer see this anymore. It's going to cost about $610,000 to take this out.
Now with live pictures showing you the work that has already started. Crews have started to remove Black Lives Matter Plaza. And we're showing you live pictures of the jackhammering that's taking place. Crews have to get rid of the cobblestone walkways, the bollards that are there as well. The street will eventually be repaved. Crews will change the plaza back to the 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, but that's going to be done in phases. So the work is expected to go on for the next several weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, in fact, and cost an estimated $600,000. Our Mark Seagraves reported on this. News 4's Adam Tuss is there. He's going to have much more for us this afternoon. But of course, we brought this to your attention last week after Representative Andrew Clyde drew up legislation, in essence, threatening the mayor to paint over the wording or risk losing funding. Black Lives Matter Plaza came to be at the height of protests nationwide after the death of George Floyd. The mayor this time around saying that this was in her plans, that she was going to announce to the community in the America 250 Commission that something else would be taking the place of Black Lives Matter Plaza to commemorate the nation's 250th birthday coming up. But she said this sort of got ahead of us.
And as you can see, it's being removed. So, yeah. We've got 21 state attorney generals urging Congress now to ban this DeepSeek. And you would think that they should have already done this. There shouldn't be too much argument over this. This is what you call a national security issue for real. When you've got Chinese technology in here that you know is a spy apparatus. You know this. Like, and you've already banned it in, like, the Pentagon and certain other places. Like, well then, everything needs to be protected, right? Well, that's what they're calling for here. This is going to go pretty deep. When you have Christopher Wray, the former FBI head, now it's Kash Patel. Christopher Wray was warning that China's all over the place. They're embedded in everything. In the water, in the electric power grid, in telecommunications, banking, all of it. They've got a back door in it. And you don't hear Kash talking much about any of it when it comes to the whole China stuff. I do have an update here tonight we're going to get to here in a minute that is huge. It's absolutely huge in terms of going after China. The state of Missouri stepping up, and I'm going to dive into that here in just a second. But here's a crazy one. A House staffer gained entry into one of the White House office buildings or one of the office buildings that leads to the Capitol, he had a gun. Apparently he broke protocol. And they're flipping out about the whole thing, but it's not like he was making threats. He acted like he brought it in the day before and nobody cared. But Tulsi Gabbard just revoked the security clearance on 51 who she calls spies. I swear she looks like a vampire in that picture. And she probably is. But all these people that you see here that went along with the whole Biden laptop thing, they got all their stuff revoked. John Brennan at the top. You're one of the biggest names right there. James Clapper. All their goons just got it all yanked. It's just part of the show, if you ask me. Are they going to go to jail? I keep asking that question all night long, all week long, all month long, all of this whole term, since DOGE has been moving. I've been asking, who's going to jail for all this stuff you're finding? Not a single person is being mentioned yet. So, look at this anomaly. All of a sudden, we have an uptick in someone trying to fly airplanes over Mar-a-Lago. When you see stuff like this, they got to scramble jets, military F-16 jets getting scrambled. It's like, hold on, what's going on here? Like, we've seen all the stage stuff that they've pulled here with the, attempted assassinations on him, as they call them, and all that. But to have this many events, you're talking 2 just over the weekend, which I find really weird because outside of that, there was 3 more aircraft. That's 5 aircraft here recently. There's no way. So these F-16s had to get out. They had to kick off flares. They had to kick their flares out, and they had to force them to change direction, to change course, to get out of this airspace. How are so many people going to be ignoring this and trying to encroach and have military jets swarming them? I find it kind of weird. They say that since Trump has been inaugurated, that the whole Palm Beach area, here since January 20th has seen over 20 such airspace violations. So there's a definite uptick. Whatever's going on, it's mighty odd to me. But whether they're telegraphing something to come via plane in Mar-a-Lago, I don't know. You know how this government is with planes. Anyhow, off to Greenland we go. Trump seems to think he can wave his magic wand over this way, and he can say, I want that. And Greenland is on top of the list. But I think the elections here are going to play big. And you know how rigged elections are. The outcome of this is going to say everything. Because the leadership, either for or against Trump's proposition here, he's trying to absorb Greenland. Come aboard. Become part of the United States. And we'll give you billions of dollars in support. He's trying to strike this deal, seriously. And he's even said this about Canada. As crazy as it sounds, when you watch him on film, he's dead serious about it. He's like, no, the money that we spend, they should become the same thing, absorbed in. And what people are not realizing is what this is all part of is North American Union talk without saying it. Again, it's black magic. I mean, how many times I got to tell you this? How many times I got to show you this? This is just the master of it. Right in front of your face. Okay, so what's going to happen here? They're going to get their hands on it one way or another is how I feel. He's done signaled that this is vital. It's a national security interest. And they're willing to pay big money. Greenland is interesting. I wouldn't mind doing an expedition up there, just on history and all kinds of other crazy stuff, man, because it's a bit of a mystery still. One of the few places left like that. Anyhow, we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. Well, let me just say this. The last thing on it. He's now offering a multi-billion-dollar investment for them to jump in. That's the official thing. That's the carrot on a stick. He'll invest multi-billion dollars if they just come aboard with the U.S. Now, militarily, all that stuff, it makes sense. Let me go around the world now. I want to start off here by saying rest in peace to all the souls lost across this planet. Every day, all the time, I have to watch clips of innocent people getting killed for virtually no reason. Whether it's in the battlefield in Ukraine, which is pointless. It's just their created meat grinder to kill off all these people. Or, whatever bombs Israel's dropping, wherever, or whoever. The war machine. And you've got all these groups out there, these terror groups, if you will. A bunch of them have been created by Western-backed money. I mean, we can go back to so many different groups. But what's going on inside of Syria right now is appalling. We have Christians believe in Jesus, Yeshua, the Most High, good people, getting hunted down and slaughtered like you've never seen. They're getting beat, humiliated, beat down with sticks before they get slaughtered. It's the most disgusting thing. And man, it's hard for me to even report it because it's what I've seen playing in my mind. I wouldn't dare torture you with, you're never going to find me sharing, unless it's absolutely necessary, 100%, some really graphic stuff. Unfortunately, though, I've got to watch it. I gotta know the real. I gotta see these stories to report it to you. And I'm telling you what I've seen with this, same thing, Gaza, all these other places, man. It's like you either care that people are getting slaughtered or you don't. What are you going to do when they turn this animal on you? Here. Where they're just going to gun down and slaughter everybody. They don't care. What are you going to do, man? We're at war right now. It's begun. They brought it here. People are sleeping on it, man. State of emergency declared. Military at our border. About to start striking. Man. This is fitting to be a hot, hot summer. Okay, so let's dive into Ukraine real quick. Even though Trump's trying to create peace, Poland and all these other places are not wanting it. Europe's wanting war still. It makes no sense why they want war with Russia. Europe just supplies Ukraine with outdated and defective weapons, hardly any funding. We are the muscle of NATO. If you take us out of the equation, they're kind of screwed. And why would they want to be fighting Russia? They get all of their natural gas and they only survive through the winter because of Russia. The world is a stage, man. When you realize these things, these critical things, that just in the middle of a winter, in a war setting, Russia could kill them all. Just cut off everything. They're done. That's it. That's it. That is it. That's the only move that needs to be made. You don't even have to strike them. Just shut everything off. They freeze to death. Large portions, it would cause chaos. It'd be over for them. So, who are you going to get it from? There's another big juggernaut in the area trying to get a road through there. It's China. Belt and Road Initiative. So they can get goods up through there. But they don't like them neither, huh? They don't like Russia or China. But yet, why is Russia or even China so hell-bent on trying to get produce into an area like that doesn't like them? Like, none of it ever makes sense. Because the world's a stage. Told you. Xi Jinping, he was handled and groomed, man, by Henry Kissinger. Look it up, man. Very good friends. You gotta know your enemy, man. This world is a stage, man. All this stuff was planned, even the downfall of America. They wrote a book on it. It's called The Secret Destiny of America, written by Manly P. Hall. You should check it out. And you'll see that this whole thing was planned. And then if you want to go down some more rabbit holes, come back and holler at me. So, the U.S. is talking about ceasing all exercises in Europe. Dude, we're about to see a paradigm shift. I feel we are. We're on the cusp of it. Trump's saying, like, you know what, Europe, we're sick of you and your entitlement. We're sick of all you and this, like, we're sick of it. Like, we're out. We're out of here. Peace. And Russia has huge deals. Huge deals. That's what they keep saying. Huge, amazing deals. Honestly, if we partner with Russia, no one's touching us. It's a game changer. But it's almost like a beast move. That means they're comfortable in rolling out all the stuff where it's at. Because it means they're comfortable in Russia and the United States, and they're doing it. The whole beast system. It doesn't take us going to war with Russia. There was no reason to ever do it. We're both red, white, and blue, predominantly Christian countries. They consume a large portion of the planet. The power is like unmatchable, untouchable. No one could beat it in the last war. You understand? Hitler, none of them. Japan, everything that went down, they could not beat us in Russia. No one could. No one. And I believe it would hold in a traditional war. In a traditional war. Now, anyone could drop that lone EMP, or they could set it up staged, over America and put us in the dark. Maybe that's in the cards, I don't know. But at this point, that would be solely to kill off a lot of people, in my opinion. And really the only reason. Main reason. There'd be a lot of reasons, I guess. But what are they looking to do here? Do they want to get the masses onto a new beast system here? Or are they just want to kill them all? Take a pick. Wild times, man. I think there's a website out there, man. You could bet on stuff like that. But if they EMP the place, I don't see how you're getting paid out. So, in Ukraine, I'll say this. They're surrounded. You can see this one says thousands of Ukraine troops suddenly face encirclement in Kursk. They can't stop them. It's done. It's done, man. And this is what they call Zelensky's last stand. And let it be. Get him out of here. I'm sick of the puppet show. Kick rocks. Later, buddy. They'll never want to see your satanic butt again. I'm sick of seeing his name. I'm sick of the whole thing. They just need to hold new elections, have a new leader, get this whole war thing done. And this is what Trump's saying, so that you guys know this is what the Prince of Peace, the Gentile Messiah, is doing here. Because he's the major player here making peace, and he's about to do it. It's about to happen. Okay? He says Zelensky had to apologize. So Zelensky wrote up a letter, basically, sucking up to him, kissing his butt, apologizing. But then you've got the attacks coming out of Ukraine today, hitting X, which are like, what the? But Trump says they got to secede territory. They got to give up every bit of territory that they've lost. Russia's not giving them an inch of anything. And their men are surrounded right here tonight in Kursk. It's like over. Okay? So, these are Trump's stipulations. And he's basically like, you're taking it, you're doing it, and like, this is what's going down. And like, he's sick of messing with Zelensky. So I think at this point, he's got Zelensky kind of where he wants him. And I think Russia, listen, guys. I think there's going to be some huge announcements made here. I think Trump, this is a clip here real quick, of Trump saying how Zelensky was just stealing money, taking it left and right from us.
Well, he was able to, it was like taking candy from a baby, what he did. He's a smart guy, and he's a tough guy. And he took money out of this country under Biden like candy from a baby. It was so easy, with that same attitude. And I just don't think he's grateful. We gave him, in my opinion, $350 billion. Europe is in for $100 billion. We gave him $350 billion, and he's talking about the fact that they have fought, and there's a bravery because somebody has to use the weapons. But without those weapons, don't forget, I was the one that gave him the javelins that was able to knock down all the tanks. Obama gave nothing. Look, if I were president, that would have never happened. You wouldn't have had Russia going into Ukraine. You wouldn't have had the whole situation with Hamas and October 7th would have never happened because Iran was broke. They had no money. They weren't giving it to Hamas or Hezbollah or anybody else. You would have never had the worst evacuation anyone's ever seen, which is Afghanistan, which was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And you know what else you wouldn't have had? You wouldn't have had inflation. We had record-setting inflation under Biden. It was a killer. It's one of the reasons I won the election.
It was a killer, as he says. But, well, what's this? Putin says that Russia does not plan to attack NATO countries. And they're basically saying, look, y'all flipping out. Like, yeah, we got this dispute going on with Ukraine, and it's in a border situation here. But basically says that they're not going to go attacking anyone else, like Poland or anyone else, because Poland and all these other countries are trying to act like, oh, if the U.S. is backing out, then we're moving nukes to the front line. Like, right, they're trying to flex. And Trump's kind of like, look, if you want to flex on Russia right now, you're on your own. That's where we're at with this. And look at this one. Look at this headline. This is one I think you should pay attention to because I think this is where we're going. What happens in the Middle East if Russia and the United States stop being enemies? Trump's all over Truth Social and social media posting that they're going to announce amazing opportunities with Russia. That's what's coming. Okay? Amazing opportunities are about to be announced. Huge deals. Like, and I believe it. I believe it. The businessman in him with Russia, I could see, with what they're needing, I could see this being huge. It could be huge for history, to be honest with you. But that's on the world stage, man. But this is where it's at. Let's just be honest about it. This is where it's at. Who can contend with the beast? Who can wage war with the beast at this point? So a lot of people are bringing up a rug pull on China, that Russia's doing a rug pull on China, and China's not going to like this, and China's embedded everywhere, and that's true. China's the real threat here. China's the true real threat. They're all in this country. I've told you this a million times. So let's make this clear. We could be on the cusp of a huge announcement that's going to have huge deals connected with minerals and trade. All the tariffs are going to drop. The embassies are going to open. Matter of fact, they done initiated a brand new ambassador for Russia and put it in motion. They stopped they stopped attacking them. The United States said, they've we're done cyber attacking you. We're going to stop the whole onslaught. They're doing all these crazy things that like you would never do unless you truly want a big peace accord to go down. And I think that's what they want Trump's record to have right now. They're painting him as this man of peace. You know, the false man of peace here. As they called him the Prince of Peace, giving him that silver crown. I played you the videos. He is their Gentile Messiah. They're fulfilling like prophecy in their eyes and doing these things. You see, you've got to understand, these may not be things that you believe in, but what some of these cats that control this whole game believe in, they will create events to usher in certain things. And they will match events with key windows that happen in the heavens that you may be oblivious to. And as above, so below. If you're not paying attention, you're never going to know. What's this one? This is huge. This is huge. I hope every single state follows this move. I hope the states do it. But this is big. Check this out. A federal judge just imposed, let me get this, Cash Hart, man. Coffees, can't thank you enough. Coming through huge, man. Coming through absolutely huge. Thank you so much. Again, Cash Hart, man. Much love. Look what Missouri's done here. They have a $24 billion judgment against China. Okay? And they're moving to seize their assets. They're moving to take China's land. All of it. Including farmland. To seize Chinese-owned assets, including farmland. This is where it begins. This has to happen. If you think that you could just go to China and buy some chunk of land, you're in for something else. No one should be able to come in here like this, especially our number one enemy, and buy farmland right next to our military base and get away with it. And it just, how can it alarm me and you and not your military? Okay? Can we ask that question openly here? Honestly, for everybody listening? If any military brass is out there, anyone, like, how can you ignore the fact that the China's right there? Deanne, thank you for the coffees and the support. Much love. How can you ignore it? How can anyone ignore this? How are we talking about it all the time and nobody else is? How come nobody on those military bases don't care? How come they don't care? Anybody got a flashlight at night when I walked in there, check the fence line? Like, what are they doing over there? You want to fly a drone over there and scope it out? Like, you guys, like what? Like, what's going on here? Like, this is starting to smell like a setup, big time. We got over 1 million Chinese alone that have slipped in over the past 4 years, hiding in here. You know, all cush up in their villas. No one wants to talk about it. Homan's going after all these terrorists and going up in all these places, right? But not a word about the Chinese. Not a word about these Chinese and all this stuff. So when I see Missouri making a move here to go after them, and they go after the farmland, oh boy, you better hope they go full scale, they're successful, they get back every blade of grass. And just imagine what they find on these properties. I can't believe it's not being talked about more and now. It's almost like this should be priority. Like, it's pretty crazy, man. I just want you to know, though, Missouri's making moves that like no one else out there will make to do this. You know, over the past year, I've reported on a lot of people coming across the border. Over the past decade, I've reported on a lot of people coming across the border. If there's one group that's been a threat that I could label and see, it's the Chinese, because they've been treated different. We've caught them being smuggled in and coming in waterways by boat and being taken to places that are like It's a huge setup. It's all organized. And like, you have these, the way I seen it is like you had this whole huge group of people, of migrants that they send up, and it's a cover group. It's a cover group. It's making all these headlines. And while this is all going down, they're slipping these guys in undercover over here. And they're taking these waterways by boat into the country, into the deepest part they can get, getting out, and they're getting in unscathed. And they've been able to do this the whole time. They've been caught doing this. We've reported on it. That's concerning. You know, again, how can we know this? Why are we asking these questions all the time and our military is not doing nothing? It just blows my mind. It's like you're begging for something to happen. It's like a Trojan horse. You hear the term all the time, but really it is. They slipped in here. They came in here. They're in here. They're embedded. And they're just waiting for the right time to come out and strike. They did not do this for nothing, let me tell you something. They didn't just do it to come in here and camp out, wait to get rounded up. No way. There's something huge about to happen. And if they cripple this country while they're in here and they're already set up in position, they have a huge advantage. Huge advantage. You got foot soldiers, 1 million of them on the inside. Take it down. You know, cripple the banking. EMP the place. Again, EMP doesn't really, I think a large-scale cyber attack and pulling the plug and hitting cyber works better for them, I feel. I just feel it does. It's not going to do us any favors because everything's going to go down. But I feel that cyber is going to do better for them instead of an EMP. EMP is like a nightmare situation. It's where everything shuts down and it makes it harder on them in a lot of ways too. Yeah, they've got Cheyenne Mountain and some infrastructure to deal with it, but large scale, every city will be wrecked. There will be no recovering. Everything will be fried. And the people would die in such large amounts after like a month that like the only thing that you could do in an EMP is sit back and like let them all die is what they're going to do. Haven't you watched the simulations? Haven't you ever done that? Like I've watched several different ones and they all end about the same way and very bad. And for the government, they would sit back and literally just send in a cleanup team. And I'm telling you, it would be UN soldiers. It would be a team of international people coming to the rescue to help, right? Think of the Silver Sailor, right? They're going to come in, just like we always do, playing cleanup. And at that point, there's not going to be many people left. So, and they'll kill anybody they'll shoot at anybody that tries to, that's a threat to them. You know, they're going to say they're coming in as peacemakers, and this place would be so badly damaged and crippled that it would kill everybody. That's the worst case scenario that I could ever see. Do you understand? Outside of a comet smacking this place or something, or nukes really going off. I'm not going to rule out nukes, but I just don't think they're going to hit this place with nukes. If they do, I think it'll just be like one, and it'll be symbolic. You ask me where? Like, unfortunately, it seems East Coast, and somewhere up there in that D.C., New York area. That's where I put it. D.C. is like Building 7. It has all the goods, and they're going to make sure that it comes down. Do you understand? Even though it wasn't hit by a plane or nothing else, they're going to make sure it comes down in its own footprint because it had all the goods. You see? Just like the part of the Pentagon that got smacked was the one that held all the goods for all this information and all these files. Like, man, it's a setup like you've never seen. It's all set up. It's the same hand, same one that pulled all those events, is about to pull the granddaddy event. And I can't see how it's not economic. You gotta understand, this is more than America. This affects the whole globe. The Great Depression was the same way. It affected not only us because we were like the world reserve status with currency. It affected everybody. This is going to be no different. I think a huge shockwave is about to happen. I don't think it's going to be an EMP. I think it's going to be cyber. I think it's going to be attacks. I think it's going to start to target all these sectors. A lot of things are going to go down. It's going to cause havoc, and they're going to take advantage of it. So we're just going to have to sit back and see what happens here. In the meantime, on our border, which is a war front, do know they are flying Orion spy planes all over the place. They've been doing this. They're not stopping. They're ramping up. More heavy equipment has been rolled in. They're mounting up hardcore. You don't do this unless you're about to do something. The cats that I know that are down there that are seeing this firsthand said the equipment is like, it's sprawled out now. It's all over the place. We haven't been this fortified since, man, I'm going to say back when Bush was still in there, because when Obama got in, he tore down our defenses. We go all the way back. I was reporting on it in 2012. The beginning of all this stuff, what they were doing then, we used to have what you call, and they still got them out there somewhere, I think, a couple places. They're called aerostat satellites. There's huge blimps that sat down on our border, and we had a chain link, like a big string of them that protected our border. Obama came in and started taking them down. I'll never forget when that first happened, because I was like, man, this seems really odd. Why is he doing this? Why is he dismantling it? Why is he taking down our defense systems here? Why is he doing it? It made no sense. Well, then, we were talking about Jade Helm and all this other stuff, and there were groups that started to come up. And who was one of the persons that went down and started one of the huge waves on Biden's watch? It was on Obama's watch. It was Biden. It was his vice president. Biden went down there and told everybody down there that, yeah, you can blah, blah, blah. I forget exactly what he said. But people were on trains heading toward America at that point. And it began then, man. I've been reporting on this and watching this go into motion for so long. I see where it all goes back to. And we're like, it's all come to a head. Like, something's about to happen. It's just that time. Man, they start striking people. I think attacks are going to start happening in like downtown Houston, El Paso maybe. I'm just saying places like that because they're closer to the border, unfortunately, and it's a war zone. It's become a war front. You have to accept it for what it is, man. And people are living in a false reality right now. Don't even realize what's about to go down. Huh. So, yeah, Trump's out and abroad striking up peace and all this other stuff. But again, they brought a war to our doorstep, and majority of the populace is just oblivious to it. Just wait till more car bombings, beheadings, all this crazy stuff. People getting ran over, like crazy terror, like stuff starts to happen. It'll all be back and forth. I don't think it'll ever end. I think that this is right in front of your face. They began a war that this was all created, man. Can't you see? All this is created. All this is created by design, man. That's why it all takes me back to Jade Helm. It's all ominous. It's all in motion. That's why I warn you about Tom Homan and these strike teams. Boy, I know they got another global event coming. The Hand does. They're going to do it. And if you plan to see 2030, I think you're going to have to go through it. You're going to have to go through it. It's going to be a real deal one. I fear it. I'm going to tell you now, with all my soul. Never has anything in the world that God's put upon me, a vision or anything like that, a warning, ever scared me more than what I was shown during lockdowns. The visions that I seen. They didn't happen. But I knew. I kept thinking to myself, like, well, this isn't. It was like this. I'm showing you what the real is going to be like. And that's why I tell you all the time. when people are peeking out their windows and you're seeing neighbors carrying a fresh body to the curb and incinerators are coming down the road to pick them up and like burn them. It sounds wild, but like these are the things I've seen. And like you ain't going nowhere. You ain't touching anything anyone's touched. And like it begins. It's like a nightmare. It's like gray state. That's why they killed my man. That's why I spent the past 5 years getting ready for this. I didn't just say, oh, it's nothing. Like God put it upon me so hard. I feared because when it happens, my life's over. Like everyone's life's over as far as I can tell when this event happens. Society will break down. You will be forced to go into the beast system. At that point, you either have a mark showing that you're inoculated or not. And those that are not are going to be treated like hunted animals. Do you understand me? You wear all my purebloods out there. You wear that as a badge of honor right now. But I'm telling you, the real test is yet to happen. You'll remember it. And what's about to happen, I'm telling you, I'm warning you. You've been warned. I salute all of you that ride to the end, to the death. I do. I'm right there with you. I plan to sit with you in conscious spirit on the other side of this until the Most High judges all of our souls. If there's anything I can leave you here tonight with, I guess, is you can't lose sight of what this place really is, right? Maybe you've never heard, because they keep it out of your Bible. But these books we speak about, like the Book of Enoch and all these others, Jubilees, Giants, and all this hidden history that they try to keep hidden from you, it paints a clear picture. It tells you the workings of this place that the traditional Bible doesn't. And they kept it out of there for a reason, because they didn't want you to figure it out. When you piece them in, you figure it out. And it's very clear. Like, this place is a realm of some sort that souls cycle into. Okay? And you can argue about the names of a godhead all day long, the color, the size, if it's a girl, a boy, all this other stuff, but that's like small-minded. It's moot. Just to understand and know that there's a conscious Godhead creator is key in all this. But you have to understand that we've been told how this thing works, and a lot of people are missing it. Like there's places where the soul goes, for instance, and I'm telling you this because if I die, because we all are going to drop these bodies, I plan to locate one of these areas I'm about to tell you, because this is what they told us. This is what Raphael, one of the archangels of God, of the good guys, told Enoch, and the whole story, if you go and you read it, he explained where the soul goes, and I think it's important to note that somewhere in these books and through history, someone left us the goods, if you care. And they told us repeatedly, and how it goes is like this. They made 3 places for the souls to go. One for the bad, for all the evil souls to go and sit. Okay? Think about, it's reminiscent of the lounge in Beetlejuice. Okay? It comes to mind when I start to talk about this. There's a place for the better souls to go, so to speak, to sit and wait for judgment of all souls. This is how it goes. This is how it is written, if you don't know. Okay? And there is a place for complaints. This is also echoed when God flooded the place, because he said, I heard the souls of all the people coming up from this place. From this place. And they were saying, what were they saying? What were they saying in the days of Noah? What were those souls saying? We don't want to go back in there. That tells you souls cycle into this place. It's all pretty clear right in front of you. And they tell you that Enoch is sitting there saying that Raphael takes him, and guess who they see in this chance encounter? Guess who he shows him is sitting there? Abel. One of the first murdered people. And he's sitting there screaming to God in this place where you can plead, where the souls can plead to God. And he's screaming for vengeance on the seed of Cain. If you don't know, you better get it on. You're living in the last days of knowledge at your fingertips. I'd be spending late nights getting it before they blank this thing out. Do you understand? This is what is written. This is the real deal. This is what was trying to be hid from you. Just go. Seek it. You will find. Okay? That's why I tell you, when you look at the moon and everyone that talks about the moon being a foreign object, I believe it was created. I don't believe it was a piece of a chunk of two planets that smacked together and formed. I don't believe that garbage. It has given me every bit of proof that it is a structure that has been built and designed, and it's sitting there watching us. It's an ominous thing. And what did Max, R.I.P. my brother, and others say about the moon this whole time? That it's a soul trap. Don't go toward the light. Step out into this universe or away from this thing, out of this trap. Because that's what it seems to be. And they've told you there are places where the soul goes. It's written. It is written. Okay? So you don't have to wonder. If you're intrigued, you're wondering where your soul's going to go and emanate and vibe from here, well, as you wait, where's everybody going? Grandpa just died, Dad, any of these people dying, all these people, where are they sitting? Where are they chilling at? Because they sure keep coming to me in my dreams, I tell you that. Has to be some kind of connection there. Has to be. Why do I wake up every morning talking to dead people? It's always dead people. Why? There's something there. Anyhow, I'm telling you, this means something to me. And for all of you that fight the good fight, I look to see you on the other side. In that same hall, in the same place, where Abel is sitting there sending up his things, where he's asking God, for judgment. That's where I plan to be. Asking for the same thing. Bring it on. That's why I live this life the best I can. That way I can say, look, I fought. I did everything I could. By the means that you gave me, I did everything I could to fight the good fight. What more can you ask from a soul then? So, I see you there. Salutes to all you that fight the good fight. Jesus told you. Yeshua, he showed you. We'll talk about this more. I look to have an upcoming stream on a Sunday night like we did last time. A lot of people blowing me up. They want that Sunday stream again. I did one on demonology. It's still here on the channel somewhere. Demonology and the ranks and the hierarchies and all this. And the whole tie-in with King Solomon. And people want more. So I'm going to try to line something up. And it's a history. It's stuff that you need to know. Once you know it, you understand the workings of this place. This place is built where there is a realm around you that controls it, okay? This is probably the most important thing you need to grasp tonight as I let you go out of here, okay? You wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places, all right? This is scripture, but it's true. What this is telling you is that we are being tested by spirit constantly. Constantly. Some people don't like that thought. They don't like the thought that there's dark spirits all around you and that they've been given approval by God to tempt you and to test you. Well, sure they have. That's what this place is all about. That's what it's all about. Do you see now? What was Solomon? He was a master wizard. What could Solomon do that made him so powerful? He could bind sigils and bind the jinn, the demon. Who are the jinn? Who are the jinn? Who are the spirit on the other side? They are the spirit of the Nephilim that were wiped out in the flood. Again, you do your research, you will find these things. Read the book of the giants. Get your knowledge on everything that they want to keep hidden from you. Okay? Because it's amazing when it all circles around together and you see this for what it is. He's a master wizard, is what Solomon was. And he could control the spirit, but there's rules to the game. You can't use it to go to war with your enemy. You can't use it for all these certain things. There's rules. So, what did he do? He tasked them with cutting all the blocks for the temple. For designing and building, it's all written. It's right there. Which means that Wailing Wall that is built, that sits there today, that everyone goes up and touches, that last part of the temple, that thing was, all them stones were cut. It is written. It was cut by the jinn. Do you understand this? Not by human hands, by the jinn, because Solomon ordered them to do it. Cut the block, run the rope, to do all of it. He put them to work. He put them to work, and God accepted it. It's righteous. He let it be, because he used them in a righteous manner. Do you see there's rules to this game? You're dealing with witches and wizards at the highest level. Do you understand this? Understanding this breaks the spell. You're so close. When you break this veil and you see this for what it is, it stops working on you. The dark magic fades away and off. You get to see clearly for what it is. Okay? You need to understand these jinn are here. They're real. They were made by God. They are former Nephilim. They are the spirit of it. They are put here to test you. There's a ranking. There's a hierarchy. Your human, intelligent military here, all the people around us, all their hierarchy, all the way up to our president, the way it's all structured. Your military, it is designed after the hierarchy. It goes all the way up to Satan and Lucifer sitting at the top. And I could go on for hours on this. But what you need to know is it's real. And it's what tempts you every day to take that pill. To do this bad thing that you know is bad. It's what keeps tempting you. Do you understand now? Do you understand what they've been doing to you this whole time? And it won't stop. It's how this place is. It's by design. Just go read your scripture and you'll get the picture. Man, I'm popping off some rhymes tonight. Amen. Hoodie Ross. Hallelujah, my brother. Smiting it, man. Much love, Crown Jewels, my brothers. Everybody out there here tonight, man. I love you guys. I had to get that off my chest. It's important, I think, to bring clarity to all this. We don't live forever, man. Look, I just went down with kidney stones. What's it, yesterday, the day before? I thought I was dying. Let me tell you something. I thought I was dying. I couldn't explain it any other way. I thought something like broke inside me. My spleen ruptured, something crazy. And I'm like, hour away from a hospital. And I thought I was like, I'm throwing up all this stuff. I thought I was dying. Straight up. I didn't know what else to think of, to even relate it to. So it was crazy. But ended up being kidney stones. So yeah, kidney stones are no joke. And I appreciate everybody out there that sent me well wishes in all this. I had to take some calcium medicine actually before this, and I believe it's what added to it. But yeah, having to go through kidney stones and pass them, no joke. It had me out of commission for a minute. Hopefully I'm on the healing side of it. And yeah, I don't wish that upon nobody. Thank you for all the well wishes, all the support, man, and the prayers. The prayers, man. Those of you that take the time to do it, I can't thank you enough. Much love. So yeah, that brings me to a close for tonight. Just checking the chat here. Again, much love to everybody out there. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern right here. Take us out of here. Want some music. Close it down on 11/11. Legendary Eon. Can't thank you enough, brother. You're there every stream. You support more than like anyone out there. I mean, it's relentless. It's really legendary, man. I appreciate it, brother. Much love forever.